Hello, aloha to all the beloved friends. Time is 4 o'clock. Today's Monday. I should be at work, but I'm not because in Guelph, Ontario is a little bit of a bad weather. I think it's snowing. I like it, but you can't do. We were supposed to go build the deck today. I couldn't go. So we did some errands, coming back at what I love the most, to do my job, to what I know. So we're continuing this Mathnavi. We're heading to from 85, we're heading to right now towards the 90 lines, I believe. Last time we spoke about that Baha'u'llah says there is a repositories, a tank and a storage of mystery within us, a sack of knowledge. We have to get into it. And if we do, we can take the veil from our sight, from our understanding, and we can unveil the whole universe, he says. This is what it continues after that. What happens, he says. Bi khodo sarmast ayad u burun. Khod means self, bi means not, bi khod means selfless. It could mean a negative connotation. It has to. It says something is bichod, means something is there with no reason. Bichod here is in a positive term, and it means selfless. And sarmast, not just mast, means drunk, seriously intoxicated, exuberant, flabbergasted. So selfless and exuberant comes ayat. He out. Burun means out. He comes out, he says. Selfless and exuberant. The next line is very difficult as well. Needs explanation, I mean. Bi khodo sarmast ayat u burun. sun, and در زجاج راجعون. Let's do a little bit of a background check here on these words Baha'u'llah uses. So the second line, it says sham, which is candle. Sun means like exactly in English, wise. Means like sham, sun, just like a candle. So we say candle-wise, sham, sun, like candle. In the andar zujaj rajaun. Zujaj means of. Zujaj of rajaun. Both of these is a reference to the verses in the Quran. Zujaj means crystal, glass. There's a verse in Quran which alludes to the coming of Baha'u'llah. And that verse, I think, is the chapter is called Light, Nur, verse I think 24. So it reads that Allahu nuru samawat wal arz مثل نوره كمشكاة فيها مصباح المصباح فيها زجاجة الزجاجة كأنها كوكب دري يوقد من شجرة مباركة زيتونة الذي لا شرقية ولا غربية يكاد زيتها يزى ولو لم تمسسه نور على نور. Anyways, he says God is the light of the heaven and earth. The likeness of his light is like a niche, a lamp holder. On it is a lamp, so a niche and a lamp. In the lamp there's a crystal, zujaj. This is the zujaj. In it there is a zujaje, crystal. That crystal, he says, is like a brilliant star that is lit by the oil, divine oil of God, he says, and is not from the west or the east. La sharqiyatan wa la gharbiyya, neither from the east nor from the west. And it will engulf its light. And it is, if you get closer, it says, you see that there's light upon light. This light upon light is really Bab and Baha'u'llah, one light over the other light. And yakadu zaytaha yuza, it will grow well nigh his light, engulf. This word yakadu zaytaha yuza, if somebody goes numerically, count every letter and calculate it according to the old mathematics, like Roman letters, Persian and Arab, they had that too. For the digit they used letters, like A is 1, B is 2, J is 3, D is 4, H is 5, I don't know, W is 6, Z is 7, and so on. So if you count it like that, it will become the date Baha'u'llah came in. That is 19 years after 1260 will become 1279. Will engulf, that is 1279. I don't know who found that out, but that is what it is. So this is zujaj, it says candle-wise, in that zujaj, that's what it is. So in Islam, like Christianity, like the Baha'i faith, even like, there is always this three stage, you know. Islam, you know, calls niche, the lamp holder, mesbah, the actual lamp, and zujajeh, which is the crystal. So Islam is mishkat, mesbah, zujajeh, meaning the niche, the lamp, and within the lamp is the zujajeh, which really talks about the essence of God, the very essence that is the zujajeh. It shows itself through the mesbah, which is its word, the will of God, and the niche is a reference to the creation. In Hinduism, there are three gods, you know, Krishna, no, the Brahma, and Vishnu and Shiva. There's three in there too. Christianity is the same thing. We say the Word of God. You know, in the beginning there was Word, God, the Word, and then the creation. And the Baha'i faith, we say, you know, the essence of God, the prime will, and the prime matter. Those are the three things. Zujajeh is a reference to that very essence. Zujajeh raji'un. This raji'un is a reference to another verse in Quran. It says, Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We are of God, and we're returning to Him. Raji'un means returning, or returnee, those who are returning. So what this verse is telling us is saying that once you previously, as I said, you get into that repository and storage of the secrets and the knowledge which is within yourself, unmask yourself, you will unmask the universe, then you come out selfless, bikhud, and intoxicated, exuberant, flabbergasted. Out, you're coming out. You were that little crystal, the zujajeh, you're coming out now. You were hidden inside. Like how? Like a candle into that crystal of a returning to God. It's just a little candle, but you return. So, this bikhud is a term used, a lot of Sufis, they're using it. I've done it in your video, in the videos before. But I'm going to very briefly say something here. You read the Seven Valleys. It says the Valley of Nothingness. Wrong translation, sorry. There's no such thing as nothingness, it's a wrong word. It's the Valley of Selflessness. It had to be translated as Selflessness. We never become nothing, okay, in no shape or form. We become selfless. That's how the people in the past trying to say. So, as the Rumi says, like a hollow reed. We are like a reed, you know, attached, he says, into the field. If it gets cut off and inside it is clean, it turns into a pipe, like a flute. God will use it and basically blows and sings into that, plays into that cane, into that flute. From the reed we turn into a flute, opens both sides. But all of these things are kind of, you know, a little bit mysterious, and opens the topic for everyone to think what's going on. In reality, selflessness is not in a case that you die and God comes in the place of you and talk. There's no such things. That's how even, I remember in Iran we used to say, Baha Mirza Hossein Ali died, he doesn't exist anymore. Baha, God speaks in his place, which is not according to the philosophy of the Baha'i faith. Why is that? Because the Baha'i faith says there's 5 spirits, they're always existing, all the time. The mineral spirits, the vegetable spirit, or the growing, the communication spirit, which is the physical communication, which is the 5 senses, animal spirit. Then there's the human spirit installed over the top of that. Prophet of God have all of them. They're always an animal, they're always a vegetable, they're always mineral, they're always human. But there is another installation on the top of that, which is the Holy Spirit. We people do not have that, but we have something from that within us that I discussed it before. Okay, that is this Zojaje is in us. God tried to make us to grow so we can develop that hidden part in us. We will not have Holy Ghost in us, but we will have what is known in the Baha'i faith as the spirit of faith. We will become a photocopy, a copy of the Prophet of God. He always remains original. We will never become him. Show appendices between us and them, there's always a dross, D-R-O-S-S. There's a dross. There's a rusty, we're rusty. There's a little bit, it can never ever fully become them. But however, we can transmit that light, we can become like a TV and, you know, show it completely, but we're not original, okay? So what does this bikhud, selfless, means? It doesn't mean that human part of me should die, so God comes into place. God is not coming in to kick me out, no. What it means is activating what's in us. You remember that Baha'u'llah says, you have to listen to a few of these videos before. This is something very, very essential is within in us. The faith of God is in us. It's a very private faith, communication device is in us. All of it is there to activate it. You know, sometimes you have a computer and you have not activated certain parts, so you don't know even you have that. The activation of the program, which entire Baha'i faith and all the religion is about that, is to make man to grow to another stage, another state of being. So bikhud means that. Bikhud doesn't mean selfless as a case that, you know, me died and somebody else comes in. God is not planning to do that at all. I shall remain always a human, always an animal, always, and as some of the philosophy, the Hindu philosophy says, kill the animal, bother the animal, and no, that's not allowed also in the Baha'i faith. Animal has his own right. He has to have sex, he has to eat food, he has to sleep, he has to relieve himself, he has to be comfortable. Animal has a right in us. You know, cutting yourself out. Except that you just have to do it in the right way. You know, you can't eat the food of the neighbor or the food that's poured on the floor. So you can't have sex with anybody also. You know, it belongs to somebody else who's fallen on the floor and might get you sick. You know. The result is important for God, the consequence is important. Sex is like a red light. You may pass and don't die. It happens in the spiritual realm. Maybe not. Also, you might have an accident and get AIDS or kill somebody else because as you had sex with the wrong person, she was married or he was married. Now there's a divorce. Oh, the consequence was so bad, man. It's worse than committing killing. It's that bad. Baha'u'llah says in the Baha'i faith, that kind of a sex we're not telling you what to do. Universal laws of justice has to come to do it. It's very bad. But if people are all, I guess there's nobody hurting in between, then it's literally as a fine. You have to go pay for your fine to God. So bichud, selfless, to kill the sex, to kill the human, to kill the vegetable, not to eat properly. My body is the vegetable. Oh, I have to be lean, I have to be thin. I have to go in a cave. Not understandable, acceptable at all. The body is given by God, it has to be in utmost shape. And it has to function, which is the animal parts, completely, the desire has to be in. But that's not the end of the story. Now there's a human, he has a share too. But there's somebody else in it, which is you on the other side. That poor thing is suffering, All this self has to be in there. So once you untap that, he will come selfless, which means those self of animal and vegetable and all that, this guy is not running his computer with just low windows. He has another window. Okay? That's what bottom line is. He comes into that how beautiful it is, eh? It returns, to what he was. And this has a huge meaning. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Let me interpret that too today. He says we are of God and we are returning unto God. Muhammad says, don't say we are of women and we are returning unto women. Don't say we are of money, we are returning unto money. We are of dust and we are returning unto dust. No. He says we are of God and we are returning unto God. Muhammad says that you are a limitless being. Do not limit yourself to anything transient. Your essentiality is from God. That is where you have to return. That's what it means. Eh? Now, see what Baha'u'llah says here. Confuses, Baha'u'llah here. Or it is confusing. Because I'm too small, too tiny to understand this. By no means what I say here is to be taken as the infallible word, as the final word. Anybody he's saying that to you, remember, he's bullshitting you. I'm just a person. Every one of you in the earth have the potentiality to come out and correct it. Add to it. No such a thing, I'm the elder of God, therefore I'm the finale. Okay? Anybody says those things in the realm of spirituality, he's out of his mind. Trust me on this. We're all one, all of us. We together like a jigsaw puzzle we are. I'm just one cell. You have another cell. I said this now, you'll come back later, say something else. Please do. Okay. But trying to tell me that because I'm dead and joined the League of the Heroes, somebody comes to oppose this, they tell him, oh, you're opposing a boss? You know who you're opposing? Tell him, yeah. I'm opposing a fellow human being. I'm not even opposing him. I'm just saying that he said this and I'm saying this. Okay? Alright, I made a mistake here. I wrote down this hemistick and I forgot to write down the next one, so I put it down in the bottom. I was lazy to cut this, it takes a long time to write it. So I'm going to go from here and go down because these two are one line. Baha'u'llah says here, Chun ke in khar. Khar means a thorn, not flower, thorn. Chun ke in khar az gulestanet demid. Chun ke when this, chun ke when this in khar, thorn, as from Golestan, garden, you know. Ta means yours, your Golestan. Damid means bloomed. Flower, damid means the flower bloomed, you know. Flourished. Now Baha'u'llah says, when this thorn comes out of your garden, is this negative? Is this positive? Khar definitely is a negative word in the Sufism and the Persian, you know. They always says khar besides the gul. Gul is the flower. Khar is, you know, beside it. But Baha'u'llah is a new standard, though. You can't take this khar as being negative at all, because he's a standard and his plot is universe and nature and does not go with the lexicon and the dictionaries of the past. Then he says this is why it becomes positive. He says, Sad Golestan ar as way to padid. 100 of garden. Same word Golestan. From your Golestan, when this thorn blooms, hundreds of Golestan, which is, you know, garden, or bring from as way it to you padid. Bring it up. Create. Create. Padid. Padid means create, to create. So, چون که این خار از گلستانت دمید, when this thorn bloomed from your garden, 100 garden bring you create from it. This is when this thorn bloomed, came out from your garden. Out of it, make it the raw material. Make 100 garden. From it you can create. How is this possible? I have to give an example. There are many, many examples. See, he was telling us that we are the repositories and the tanks of knowledge and the mystery. Well, we have a lid on it. Get it out, Jesus. That lid is that khar, is that thorn. If you get that out, it blooms, then everything will be clear. Let's say St. Paul was a part of Christianity. You know, I give an example. He was the part of the stoning of Stephen, which was the disciples of Christ. He actually stoned Stephen. The same man, Paul, the Pharisee, comes on the way to Rome, whatever, you know that story better than me. Jesus appears to him. And this khar, the thorn, came out. But from that khar which came out, oh man, he took that as an investment, and how much he did. That khar, when it came out, it became an investment, you see. Lots of times, thousands of people die for one person to become intelligent and understand. This Saddam Hussein, you know how many people he killed? But at the end of his life, when he was defeated, I can testify, he understood how wrong he was. But it was on the bottom of the line anyways. But he came in line, at the very bottom of the line. But he took a lot of punishment here. So there's something negative in us. That negative can turn into positive. We will see in other places, Baha'u'llah says that turn your fire into light. We'll see later on he says that. This is a fire in you. Turn it into light. Why? Because the light comes from fire. But you're too close, you're fire. Turn it into light. Stay back. Slow down. Or you're burning everyone and yourself. Turn it into light. It is the jealousy. Is the khar, is the thorn. Get it out. This time become jealous if you can help it. But jealous to go to get to God. Be jealous of Tahira and Martha Ruth. How much they have done. Why can't you do? Be jealous of it. Go there. Do it. That is how the khar turns into flower. And it has to come out. There are all those obstacles. Khar is the obstacles that has to come out. And then he says, from that mistake, from that past experience that you have had, what's you going to do with this? Hundreds of garden flower, you yourself now create out of it. That's the raw material. The khar came out, now the light is out of it. Then he says, هر گلستان را به اسمی زن رقم. Now, this garden that you made, every golestan, har means every golestan, every garden, give it a name. Call it a name, every one of them. Raqam zan, with the S, that means number it, categorize it, raqam zan, with a name, give it a name. Then he says, پس به هر برگی نما سر قدم. Then to every then, past means then, bar for every barg, which means leaf, nama, show, sir, secret of qadam. Qadam is different from qadam. Qadam means pace, walk, pace. Qadam means ancient, eternal. It says now, in this Golestan, to every leaf, show them the secret of eternity. It's a big open subject, this one. Let the future come and add to it. When you do all of that, now the final consequence comes. تا که انوار رخت آید عیان. Till that the lights of your face comes clear who you are. Then it will be clear who you are. You know, once the khar is out, the light returns, Rajaun. Now you are in the position of creating many flowers of your own gardens. In the case of a writer, books. You know, let's say books. In the case of people that are teaching. To them, show them the sir qadam, sir, the secret of eternity, because you have it. Once you do those things, this to show sir qadam means to teach, really. You can't just be who you are and don't talk about it. Baha'u'llah says you have to talk about it, show it. Show to these leaves in your garden the secret of eternity. Meaning, as a Baha'i, you had certain khar in you. You couldn't become Baha'i. You couldn't confess your mistake. You couldn't confess that Baha'u'llah is right. But you took the khar out of you. Now you are a Baha'i. You return to what God wanted you to be because you were responding to his telephone call in you. Now, go on. from this experience that you have. Go create your own garden. Then teach to all these flowers that you're bringing into the faith. Show them the secret of eternity. What happened to you and how you were and what you are now. The change that has occurred in you. But you have to do that. If you do that, he says, Anwar Rochat, the lights of your roch, your countenance, becomes ayan, clear. Okay? And you know what we'll do? پر کند نورت زمین و آسمان fills up. پر کند. پر کن means to fill it up. نورت, your light. زمین, the earth and آسمان, heaven. Your light, okay, will just fills up the heaven and earth. You, my dear human being, if you activate that what God has given to you, that decision-making part that you have to decide the right things, get into the open up this tank, this repositories. Oh my God, the secret will come out. You will be so flabbergasted and exuberant. Then you're returning to what God was originally intending. And once you take that thorn away, you know, the thorn of gurur. Gurur means pride, arrogance, jealousy. All those khar, to take it out. Then we know the light of your countenance. Your light will fill the heaven and earth. There's a picture of Martha Ruth, I've seen in her books, last picture. I swear to God, her eyes is just like Abdul Baha. There's something in that eye, isn't it? So Quran is right. Truth is not from the west or east. Oh. As he talks about this thing, Baha'u'llah gets frustrated again. Go back, he says. Barwazan baldi rahmat ey kareem, bardaran ahjaw wa ghaflat zin sagim. Barwazan, blow a wind of mercy, O generous one. Cast away, tear apart these wails of ghaflat, of oblivion, from these wrong ones, from these cruel ones, from these not knowing ones. So it says, Parvazan, blow, body, a wind, ze, from, rahmat, grace, mercy. O generous one, Kareem, Bardaran, turn asunder, burst open, ahjab, the plural of hijab, ahjab, the veils, aflat, oblivion, zin, which is really as in, from this sarim, the people of wrong people, the people of the cruel people, the people that they're sick, sarim, they're sick. When it says Baha'u'llah, those things, Baha'u'llah, ask God, do this. Ba'di rahmat, sarim. Sometimes this wind that comes in the United States, lots of it, is that bard of grace. God gives you some times to understand and answer the phone call, the message that he puts in. If you don't, he'll look around to see if there is a Bin Laden around. He'll use him to wake you up. If there's no candidate, he's going to use the nature. He's going to use the typhoon. He's going to use the other things to make you to come back. These Japanese, you know, the Second World War, they showed such a bravery, such a degree of sacrifice for whatever the reason was. But after the war over, these people have become totally like a robot because there's no problem. So God says, okay, I've seen that your potential is down and you don't want to do anything about it. Either chase the pain or I will the pain to chase you. That's what God says. You want your own pain? Choose one. Because there's a lot of pain in the world. If you want to be human, go to Africa and help people. There are lots of tasks to do. All of them are painful. But that's the pain of your choice. If you don't want that, I'll send some pain for you. How about that? Then this tsunami and whatever earthquake came in Japan, again, Japanese revived them, you know. You see, people are going right into these atomic facilities. Brave Japanese soul came back a little bit. This is the theme of Baha'u'llah. He says, I am divine physician. You gotta understand, if there aren't sick people, I wouldn't be here. But you have to recognize your sickness and recognize who the doctor is. Then go to the right doctor, not to these wrong ones, because prescription is expensive and you're going to get sicker. But if you think you have no pain, you have a big problem, a mental problem, because you have to have disease, sickness. You have to have that. Come here, I'll fix you. If you don't, go to the doctor. Doctor would have to send somebody to get you to him, isn't it? How about some wind and some typhoon, some earthquake, you know? Those things are in the nature. He doesn't actually do it. But we rise to the level, we touch the button ourselves. For example, you can drink and drink and drink and drink and drink. Finally, you reach to a critical point that, boop, you touch the button. The last drink that you have, bring the heart attack. Because you are on the suicide mission anyways. It doesn't show in the beginning. The whole society can do that too. The whole society, when they become sons of a gun, they don't care about each other. They become too materialistic. Okay? Then, as a whole, they become the whole humanity in the city. It becomes an organized, like a being. And it goes on and on and on. They touch the button. You see? Muslims in Iran, they did a lot of bad things to themselves and to the Baha'is. God says, okay, so what do you want? They said, Ayatollah. God said, sure. He's right there out there. But if there was no Ayatollah, and they were like Americans, now vaccinated against the religious people and religious groups, God would send them some other stuff, okay? So all of this again, is continuation of the last one, the last few lines, was that you have the potentiality that the light of your countenance, you fellow human being, whoever you are, that fills the entire universe. You just have to take that thorn out of your system, that thorn of arrogance, and then it reinvests the very negative things. You know, sometimes the loss becomes a lesson. Use it. Create now your own garden. Teach your experience. Tell two people why you're Baha'i. You have to say it. That's what it is. پس به هر برگی نما سر قدم. Then to every leaf, every petal of the flower, show the secret of eternity, which is Baha'u'llah. Okay, my dear friend, I'm going on and this pulpit. Time is 4:40. I think I spoke about 40 minutes. Till the next time. Allahu Akbar.